I lost 2 of my biggest clients as soon as I dropped. Just think, like, I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, I got life, bills, and a clothing brand. So I'm like, dang, I just did this drop. I'm like, okay, either the enemy's trying to test me or God's trying to teach me a lesson, probably both. All this stuff is going through my mind. And I remember God just saying, you are not trusting me.
Like, the thing about it is God commits his promise. You feel me? His character never changes. So it's like, whatever he committed to you, whatever he promised to you, that's what's in alignment for you. And so it's nothing that is different. Like, you won't have to question anything about what the promise was or what his character is, because he's gonna keep it. You feel me?
Exactly. It just feels good to be on the other side of that now. Like, all I can do is just be like, wow, like, I am so grateful. Stuff seems hard in the moment. It do be like tough.
It'd be tough.
But we literally, for real,
you be in a ring fighting for your life.
Crying, screaming,
you wake up like, yo, what's gonna happen today? Because I'm done. I don't got no more energy.
No more.
You be like, I don't got
energy depleted.
If one more thing happened, this is my 13th reason. We are Growing Painz Podcast. I'm Tre'Vion, where we talk about business and the life of a young adult. These are, make sure we say your name, because I do not want to hear it.
I'm Yanni.
I'm Jayda. And where?
I was just say, don't do that, bro. Hey, yo. But nah, aside from Jayda eating her fruit snacks in the middle of the episode and drinking her juice.
Is that fruit punch?
Yes. There's no water left.
There was water, but that's like besides the point. How's the fruit of y'all labor been?
The fruits of my labor.
Because we've been on our grind. Them 2 weeks
We've
off.
been in our Duffy.
Them junks.
Back in my bag for real.
Back in my bag for real. Yeah.
Young Z.
Young Zion.
Spissy BB.
Y'all put me onto that song because I didn't know.
Y'all, go tap into New Balance by Zaya Malik. It's Malak. Y'all go tap in. That song is fire.
Who heard the song first?
Yanni girl.
That would be me.
Yeah. He said, well, you know I can't vary my talents.
Yeah.
No. New Balance.
Yeah.
I don't know the actual words. I'm not faking the dud. Let's take it up, boy. Let's try to take it up, boy. Yeah. All right, don't get copyrighted. All right, so yeah, we all been in our bag. These last 2 weeks have been great.
Yeah, we've been out on vacation, so this is our first time back recording.
Yeah,
my first time seeing these folks.
I don't know when y'all are watching this, but we had a 2-week break for Thanksgiving. Me and Trey had left to go see our families, and then Jayda ended up staying. But we took those normally we record every Monday, but we took those 2 Mondays off just to kind of experience life again, especially after we just had an event. So
yeah,
you know.
Oh, I forgot about that. It was like November was literally all Growing Painz. Literally. So it was like we just all
every day.
No, for real. It was like we just all needed a break. I'm not gonna lie.
Literally.
And them 2 weeks they be hitting because you actually get to experience outside of running on a hamster rabbit. Yeah. Hamster rabbit roll. You get to experience it more. I was trying to find the right words. I'm like, hurry up, rabbit.
They said I be on a rabbit hamster.
Bruh, but nah, that junk really be helpful. I'm not gonna lie.
It do.
It does.
Yeah, I'll say, but to answer your question, everything has been elevating for me. Like,
for sure.
Personally, in my business. So I would say the fruits of my labor, but then specifically talking these next 2 weeks, there's been a lot of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And for me as well, because I don't know, I think we previously talked about this of how when we're doing a bunch of stuff like moving around, that's when it kind of gets hard to focus on like the main thing you got to get done. Mm-hmm. Especially when we're planning an event, it's a whole different ball game. So I really, this last 2 weeks has been like very good because I've been able to like really focus on what I want to create and niche down into my brand. And we got Vlogmas this year for the content creators. December is the peak time where all the content creators get their stuff done. So it's like.
So basically, Trey's in his bag right now.
No, for real. I literally have
hit him
stuff
up
to
and
do.
ask him for some money.
For some money?
Bag
No,
right
for
now.
real.
I think he's gonna say extra graphic. I ain't know.
Money, where we
She
going
threw
with
me
this?
off when she said the money. Actually, they need to be asking you for some money. These
Right.
pants, these Jael
no,
pants.
they a shout out too.
Yeah. Go ask Jael for some pants and some money and all that stuff. She making big bank. You gonna pay for our food once we leave?
That's just side eye.
Yo, Jayda,
is
you've been
funny.
doing great with content. And like your stuff been going up. I'm proud of you.
Literally, I got 3 posts that's like in like the hundreds of thousands of views. And it's just like, what the heck?
What are you at right now? You're at 15K?
No, I'm at 20K.
Yeah.
I was just at 20K 2 days ago. I mean, not 20K, 15K 2 days ago. I had just announced 2 days ago, oh my God, I'm at 15K. Literally the next day, yesterday, I was at 19K by the end of the day. So that's $4,000. I said dollars. 4,000 followers essentially within a day.
Y'all heard her, right? She said $4,000. So definitely ask her for her cash
DM
app.
her and ask her for a few
Go ahead and get
dollars,
that bread.
and she will cash up y'all.
get that bread.
But yeah, I hit 20K today. Probably hit 21 but by the end of the day, but it's just like so cool. Like I just like, oh my gosh.
No, bro, I'm really excited for you because I feel like you deserve it, bro.
No, for
you
real.
You put in a lot of hard work.
For
so
real.
first of all, the fact this has just had this should have been happened. But I feel like now that you're taking content more seriously, that's the fruits of your labor happening because you're being more intentional.
Exactly.
Real quick. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Tap in.
Tap in, twin. Take a 5-second break and go subscribe.
Exactly. We got so much on our channel, y'all. We got vlogs, we got challenges, we got silent library, we got everything. So what are you doing? Like, go subscribe right now.
What are you doing?
Go
subscribe.
stand on business. Go stand on business.
Stand on business,
Let's get back
yeah.
into the episode.
There was a point in time where you just thought like, oh, I need to have this done. I need to have that. You just start creating a content and it just goes. We was on the phone.
I was about to bring that up.
We were on the phone and she just posted. Wow, you weren't about to post that day. That's crazy.
That post literally got like 200,000 views, bro.
That's
And
crazy.
she wasn't even about to post, y'all. That's a sign. If y'all don't feel like posting, post,
Bruh, that video is only 6 seconds long. I literally said, all right, y'all, let me get off the phone and record something. Made a 45-second video, took a couple pieces out of it. That video has like 200,000 views.
And you weren't even done sewing the stuff at the time.
It
You were
was not
holding
even,
it in a bag.
I'm holding it up like.
That's crazy. Bro, I'm proud of you, Jayda.
No,
Getting
thank
orders
you.
too.
Yes, like, bro, it's just been like mind blowing. So I had talked to Donnie and she was just like, she said, realize like what's happening for you is like an anomaly. She said, like what is happening for you, most people, like most brand establishments, they pray for that. Like if you're getting 1,000 views consistently like a day on your website, like getting dang near 1,000 followers or more a day on Instagram, she was like, and this has been for like 2 weeks. So I'm like, dang, like it's not like, oh, this should just happen for a few days. Like it's still like going on.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I feel like it's almost like I was about to start like not necessarily stressing, but because we haven't been coming to the studio, that's mainly where I record content. So I've been like, dang, I'm running out of stuff. And it's like, right when I was about to start like worrying, like another one of my posts today are like starting to do numbers. So I just feel like, it's like, that's going to like last me type stuff, but I'm still going to post something, but just until I, can create like the actual content I'm trying to do. But she was just like, realize like this is not normal. And I just been so grateful because one, I realized like God always does stuff for me that's like not normal. And then two, I remember like this whole year, like I originally started talking about launching these back in like April when we went to
Florida.
No, what's the streetwear thing?
Atlanta
That's when we
Streetwear
went to
Market.
streetwear thing, or was that March?
I remember.
You didn't go to Atlanta Street
I did.
Market.
I wore the pants. We all went.
Oh, she did.
And everyone was coming up
that
to
was
me.
in
Y'all
March,
recorded
yeah.
public interviews.
When she was doing the public interviews and stuff.
Okay,
And then they had me recording like that with the camera.
Okay.
So since then, that's when I started planning for a launch. So I was like, okay, it's gonna come out in May. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try again in like August and September and October. And I just kept like low key, I was just feeling like bad on the inside because like dang, I keep pushing it back. And a part of that had to do with like me thinking, oh, I need investors, I need all this stuff. And it's just so cool because like really all that's happening, God gets the glory, because I did this launch with no money. Just literally content I was creating off my phone helped me have like a freaking good launch. Like basically the first 8 days I made like $3,600 off of the launch. And it's just like,
Yeah.
like that's really hard for real. So it's just like, wow, I really did it. And just to think like, this like year, I had like my lowest low. Like I had never been depressed that long or even like that sad. So just to see like everything turn around, like right at the end of the year, it's just like so unexpected, you know?
Yeah.
So I just feel like, what? Like about to do stuff with Patti LaBelle, SNL.
Yeah, Patti.
Like just so much stuff. It's just happening. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. I done told you gotta ask Patti for the Patti pies. I'm not gonna lie.
Bye.
Patty pies. That's what it's called?
It's a Patti LaBelle pie.
I've heard of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
that junk go
Patti
crazy.
pies.
But nah, that's definitely like this year. I just made that post on my story. I was looking at this video when we did the episode with David on Social Proof, and I was like, yo, this is me from the top of the year. I do not like look the same, feel the same, none of that. And that's why I realized over these 2 weeks to faith forward for a, and I'm not no saint. I'm not no holier than thou person. So, you know, I'm growing my relationship with God. I always knew who God was, but I didn't have a relationship with him. And that's two completely different things. You can know who God is, but if you don't have a relationship with him, there's no rapport. And so there's nothing that he can do for you if you don't lean into him. And so that's why I said, like, I'm not no perfect person. I still be cursing and all this stuff, not doing a bunch of crazy stuff, but you know, I still curse and all of that stuff. And I just realized that God is going to take you through like the highs and the lows and the indifference. So you just have to realize that whatever phase you're in, as long as you got that faith, even if it's a little increment of faith, it's going to get you through. And all of the worry, all of the hard times, the tears, all of that stuff, it's worth it. You feel me? It takes you through a journey. And that's why I really realized this 2 weeks is like, that's what I learned is like faith forward for real.
And to add on to that, because honestly, I feel like pushing through has been like, that was like the consistent message for a good couple of weeks. Because I started just seeing videos about that. And then when we did Friendsgiving and we're like stressed about those sales, and I'm like, okay, we're really honestly supposed to push through to the end of this because we can't reschedule, we can't cancel. Like, even though we're worried about sales, we have to like push through and like just finish it to the end, like see it all the way through. And even I felt that same way with my launch, like just push through, like finish it completely all the way out. So I just feel like that has been like this reoccurring theme. It's like to push forward, like literally keep going through to the end. Like, imagine if we would have quit on Friendsgiving before even getting to the end, or if I would have just quit on my launch. Like, I had someone tell me, oh, you should just try and do the launch next year. Imagine if I would have listened and been like, okay, like, I'm not going to do it then this year. It's at the end of the year. But I feel like that has been a reoccurring theme, like, for this podcast and in my business. I'm seeing like we have to just push through to the end.
All right, y'all. So we got this little segment of whatever, growing topics, where we talk about hot topics in today's society.
Yeah, let's get it. We got Lil RT. He's been going crazy. He's 9 years old, and he's different.
Indeed.
That's what I can say. He's just doing stuff that an older person would do, cursing, speaking about sex and all of that stuff in his music. What do y'all think about that?
Was y'all doing that when y'all was a kid? When y'all was 9 years old?
Definitely.
I wasn't cussing.
I was
cursing, so I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, I was cussing, but like I wasn't cussing in the way like the stuff he be talking
that's what
about.
I'm saying.
Like the stuff he be talking about, how he even be saying the R word, R-A.
Oh, okay, yeah.
R-A.
He had said that on Carson that stream.
And in another
R-A.
video.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he be talking about it.
What was
R-A?
it? Jayda.
What is R-A?
R, and then there's an E at the end.
Ray.
Oh!
Nah, Jayda having a slow moment, bro. Come on.
But yeah, like the stuff he be talking about, and he be talking about it like he's experienced it. I have not talked that way.
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
Yeah.
And okay, so I was cursing and stuff like that, kissing, but it's like, but to the public is different. And not saying I was doing what he was doing in private, but you get what I'm saying?
And even there was a video in a video, he was talking about how an experience he had while he was having sex. And the man is 9. Yes. An experience in the way he's talking about as if he's in his mid-30s, bro.
Well, you just
y'all
called him a
think
man.
It's real?
So.
Huh?
Do we think it's real?
Like, do y'all think he's just like
Lil
he got
Tay?
a team of people that's just telling him what to say?
Nah, because from what I've seen of other videos of him just being himself, talking, and like, I'm like, he be doing that type of stuff.
I don't know, because it could be an image, it could be a character. Like I said, Lil Tay, the Chinese or Asian girl, like she had on that same image, and her brother was behind the cammer telling her what to say.
Yeah.
So
I honestly feel like regardless if it's an image or not, I don't think it's right. I don't think whoever's behind it pushing that agenda, I feel like that's not right, because now it's promoting this thing that for it to be cool to have little kids talking and acting this way, and it's not.
Well, I'm not going to say I agree as far as, I think it's cool or it's good or anything like that. But people exploit their kids on Instagram all the time. People post their kids cussing and think it's cute. Like, I just seen a video recently, like, it was somebody was talking to their kid and then the kid was cussing and they're like laughing. So he's doing it to the extreme. But people like use their kids for content and Instagram to make money and build a whole business around their kids all the time already.
I agree, but
it's like it's an extreme that's happening.
Extreme, and the cursing from a kid is all about environment. That's really all I think it is. What you're showing your child, you can't tell your child not to curse, but your mouth is a sailor. You feel me? So you have to pay attention to what you're speaking. What are you influencing in kids? My little brother was listening to Didi Osama, and that's because he see them on TikTok. And it's not because me or my brothers are teaching him that, because we want him to be better than us. But it's just the fact that he has friends and stuff in school, and like he's influenced by people in school and stuff. So we just show him a different way. You feel me? So it's really just an environment. And he knows not to go to like that extent, or he knows not to be cursing and stuff, but it's just like, it's really environment. That's what I look at it as.
And I honestly feel bad for Lil RT. I feel bad because I don't know what he's experienced, the influence he has around him in real life. You know, I really feel bad because it's like he's not experiencing a childhood. I feel like the way he's talking and acting and stuff like that, it's giving grown man vibes. And it's like, it's not cool, you know?
Yeah, I even seen a video on Twitter where it was like this, it was very rated R for kids. They were like in Africa or something, and it was these like girls they had on, these little girls they had on skirts, and they were like had their hands on the chair, and the guy had like the kid, they had her legs up, and they were like humping her.
See?
And it was like, yo, what is going on?
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's introducing a wave for it to be cool, and especially, imagine if it was a girl acting the way Lil RT is acting.
Right.
It would have been a totally different story, but I feel like it's desensitizing. I don't know if that's a word.
No,
it's desensitizing us in the way we view kids. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there were girls, Bad Baby, I think that's her name.
Yeah, but she wasn't 9, right?
But she was a child.
She was a child.
A teenager.
Right.
Bad Baby, Woe Vicky. And I'm not bringing up these people past saying that this is who they are now.
It's just an example.
But this is an example. And Lil Tay, different people. Like, there's multiple people like that. But it's just, I don't know. I just look at it as this environment.
It's definitely environment.
No, for sure.
I think it's probably viewed as a lot worse because it's a black kid. But if it was a different race kid, it would still probably cause some commotion. But like, Lil Tay made so much money off of that persona.
Right.
Bad Baby. Like, a lot of people made money off of that persona. So probably because it's a little black boy. And I'm still not saying none of this stuff is right. I'm just providing a different perspective. But because it's a little black boy, it's also like people are looking at it even like more worse because of how black boys and black men are already looked at.
Yeah, I agree.
And so if it's like, essentially he's like feeding into a stereotype at like a really young age. And so it's like that kind of makes it this big, like,
Even worse.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing I'll say. Even that perspective of like black men, they already got to pay attention to certain things. Now that leads him into drinking, which could later lead into a DUI when he gets older, or different things like that. He could start taking drugs. Exactly. And now he don't, every time he's going through something, he taking pills or popping Zans and different things like that. So it's really just getting
even just
mentored
like
and
sexual
like
issues, like, or
that too.
sexual trauma
So
or different things like that.
That's
at
crazy.
a young age.
But nah, it's definitely something to think about. And hopefully over time that is like, there's like a turning point in his life. Because I don't think going down that route is like cool or it should be glorified.
Nah, definitely.
Yes, but that was our growing topics. Let's get back into the episode.
Let's get it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
Same for me. Like at the beginning of this year, y'all, I was so depressed. Like I remember even talking about, like I feel like honestly, if you were to go back to episodes when we first started and me now, the energy is different.
Yeah,
Very
The
different.
energy is different because at the beginning of this year, and I even talked about it, I had like a dark cloud over me and I was really dealing with depression and anxiety.
I didn't know that you were referring to that as this year.
Yes.
I did not.
Literally, when I was
that.
talking about that dark cloud, I was talking about right there.
I
in
did
that
not
moment
know
on that chair.
But
I'm thinking you're talking about like last year.
Yeah,
or
that's what I
something.
thought.
I did not know
I
that.
was dealing with it in the moment.
That's
And so it would
crazy.
come in waves. So there would be some times where, you know, some episodes I'm like feeling myself, but other episodes I am more down.
Yeah.
But I was dealing with that in the beginning of this year. And also my faith has been tested, finances. I've been tested a lot this year.
Tested
in
for real.
in a lot of areas. And you know what's actually crazy is because just recently I've, you know, been asking God to give me more revelation on why I went through the things I went through this year, so that I can close the year off with like actually completing and knowing why I went through some stuff and finishing tests and stuff like that, like spiritual tests.
Yeah.
But pushing forward, what'd you say?
Faith forward.
Yeah.
That's what they say at
Bruh.
my church.
That
all
is
the time.
so real, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's like those things that get thrown in your path, I feel like that is a way for you to prove this is what I really want.
Yes.
I really truly believe in this thing, because imagine if the road was clear the whole time you're driving down it, then what you're doing is not being tested. You don't really know if you want it for real. You don't really know if you want a business until you deal with business problems.
Yes.
You don't really know if your faith in God is strong until it's tested.
Yeah.
And that's why they say like fire purifies gold, because it molds it and it cleans it, it shapes it. And that's what I experienced in my life. Losing clients and you know what I'm saying? All these different depression, anxiety, and dealing with the people and dealing like so much. It's just like, but I'm thankful because it made me who I am today. And not only that, but I'm thankful for it because I'm able to help other people who went through what I went through. And that's something I've been telling God recently is, thank you so much for putting me through all those tests, because now when I speak, I can relate with people more, and I can actually speak from experience, and I can feel people more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love that. Well,
Oh, I was gonna say that, and that's all it's about, is to go through those experiences, because us on the podcast, we're basically being used right now to speak to people, in different ways amongst the three of us. Like, we all go through our own individual things. And what's crazy is I really didn't know she was going through that at the top of the year. And you went through it like later in the year. I was also going through it at the same time in January. And I knew for a fact, like, something told me end of December, literally last year, something told me before I move out here, I need to commit to a church. And that's when I committed to my church. And I thought, my life is good. In January, when we were both going through it, I thought, okay, I'm healed and all of this stuff. But it's like, when I look at where I was at the top of January compared to how I feel now, I'm like, you were not healed. You were not happy. You were not. I truly am happy now, even through all of the hardships and stuff like that. Even like you said, losing clients, that's the most scariest feeling in business, because it's like, what's next for me, especially if it's, clients that you've been working with for some time and different things like that. It's just, what's next? And when you don't know what's next, you start to be left in confusion. But the thing about it is, like, the thing about it is, God commits his promise. You feel me? His character never changes. So it's like whatever he committed to you, whatever he promised to you, that's what's in alignment for you. And so it's nothing that is different. Like you won't have to question anything about what the promise was or what his character is, because he's going to keep it. You feel me?
Exactly. Hey y'all, what's up? I know you're enjoying the episode, but real quick, we wanted to take a second to talk to y'all.
Hey, pull out your phones right now and text the word GP Crew to the number down below. Let's get it.
Go do that right now. You're going to get updates about new drops, events, and so much more.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let me get back behind the camera. Let's get it.
Oh, y'all just said so much that I want to touch on.
Go ahead.
To add on to that, God, whatever his promises are, that never changes. The only thing that changes is us, right? Mm-hmm. So the only thing that's honestly going to ever keep us from getting to the promises that God has called us to is us. Mm-hmm. Like, even I would think, like, this whole year, or since, like, God has been putting it on my heart to do this launch since the beginning of the year, it's like, it makes me think, if God was sending opportunities for it to happen, like, so much throughout the year. So it makes me think, well, I wonder what else God would have done if I would have did it when he first started telling me. But it still goes to show, like, even when I mess up, oh my gosh, like, even when I mess up, God is still gonna, like, come through and be good to me if I just follow through. He showed me that with Tamron Hall. I messed up with Good Morning America. He said, okay, next year I'm gonna give you the same opportunity. Exactly. He showed me even with this launch, even though I've been telling you to do this launch since April, even though you're getting it done at the end of November, I'm gonna still make it successful. And so it's just like, bruh, like, that's just crazy. So it's like, if I would have just given up on at any point on any of those things, the only reason I wouldn't get what God promised me is because of me, because I chose to listen to those negative thoughts. I chose to listen to that doubt, to that fear, and give up on the idea.
Bro, that's so real. Something I'm thinking about is Jonah, and how Jonah didn't want to do what God called him to do, but he got swallowed by the whale and ended up doing it anyways. But it just shows, like, how if God set out for you to do something, it's gonna happen, regardless of
every time
your mistakes. But actually, I'm thinking, I don't know now, because I'm thinking about the Israelites in the wilderness. God set out for them to go to the promised land, and some of them didn't make it.
Well, yeah, that's why I say it depends. It depends on us. I feel like it's not dependent on God if we get the promises. It's dependent on what we do. I've been doing this study lately that God, like, put on my heart of, like, studying the consequences of disobedience. And so some consequences to being disobedient to what God calls you to do. Sometimes the consequences are permanent, and sometimes it's temporary. So when you go through, like, a season where it just feels like, oh my gosh, thing after thing after thing keeps happening, because of maybe things that you did, that is like you going through a temporary consequence, right? And so when you think about Adam and Eve, like, they were disobedient. The consequence of what they did was permanent. It affected all of us. When you think about the story of, like, Samuel and Saul, like, acting ahead of God, or acting like choosing to basically do something before God told him to do it, he literally messed up his own purpose. He was supposed to be a king, and his kids were supposed to rule, and his kids literally messed it all up. Sometimes we don't realize, like, not only does our purpose affect us, the things that we're called to do, some of us are called to do really great things. If you make bad choices and bad decisions, you may not even realize it, but you're affecting your bloodline. Yeah. Like, the wealth, the success, whatever things you're supposed to have, because of your disobedience and not doing the things that you're supposed to do, literally can change everything for your whole bloodline. So this man who was supposed to be king, because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, now he's no longer king. Now all of his kids and his kids' kids and his whole bloodline, they are no longer going to get access to that promise, all because of his disobedience. And so it's just like the things that's just what I've been, like, thinking about so much, like, the past week or so. Like, our obedience matters. And that's why I had to do, like, what I was telling you about before we started recording. Like, I had to be obedient, because I felt like I was honestly being obedient in dang near every area of my life but one area. And I just felt like, what am I missing out on by being disobedient? Like, what am I missing out on in my life, in my purpose, by not fully committing to all the things that I'm supposed to be doing, you know?
Yeah, you had talked to me like roughly on the phone about that while we were on vacation. And I said I was going through the same thing. I know what I want to commit to, or like how do I want to be more obedient, but I just haven't committed to it. And it's because there's no self accountability in that moment, because you can mess up and it's up to you. Like, okay, I messed up, I can get back on track. But when you like have to be obedient about it, now you have a higher standard to hold, because if you mess up this word, and that's why it comes to like what I also learned is like the making a vow, like to God, is if you make a vow to him and you don't keep it, it's better to just not make a vow at all. Because if you're going to continue to sin, then you might as well just continue to sin without making a vow or making a promise that you can't fulfill, you can't hold, you feel me? And so, yeah, like really this last month has really taught me, like this last month has really taught me a lot of lessons, brought me through a lot of hardship. But now I know what I want. I'm clear on where I want to be, who I want to become. And so now it's just about sticking to that lane, that drive, that focus.
And also something else, that another example that comes to my mind when we were talking about, you were talking about being obedient, right? And I'm thinking about King David. Like, he made the mistake of sleeping with Bathsheba, and that ended up affecting that ended up affecting generations. Yeah. And so, and then also on the positive side, I'm thinking about Moses and how Moses at first, he did not want to answer the call. Yeah. He was insecure. He was thinking about self. But once God was able to tell him, like, this is what I've called you to do. I created you, all this stuff. And Moses was obedient. Yeah. His obedience led to him freeing generations. Yeah. And so it's like sometimes I'm thinking about how sometimes we think about self when we think about self when God is calling us to do something. So God is calling you to start a podcast. You're thinking, oh, I don't know how to record. I don't have a team. I don't this. I don't that. God is calling you to start a business. Oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't have the right phone. I don't know how to make content. God is calling you to be a public speaker. Oh, I'm not a good speaker. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have resources.
Worrying about the how. And
worrying about self. But the thing is, when God is calling you to do something, he is going to pull through because it's his plan. Literally. Like, for an example, when you have a child, you're not going to expect a newborn to do things on its own because you created that child. That's how it is with God and his purpose. When God births something in you, he's going to take care of what he's birthing because it's a part of his plan. He knows what to do. He knows the end. He knows the beginning. He knows what's going to happen here. But the thing is, when we think about self, we stop that faith. It's like we're not able to because we're only thinking about limitations. Yes. We're only thinking about how we can't. But God is going to do it, bro.
Yes, and I think that's what, like, everything that's happened for me in the past month has shown me, like, literally trust the ideas that God has put in you. Like, the fact that, like, I had a meeting with, like, the most recent investor, and, like, that had went well, but, like, right before I was supposed to meet with her, I had been presenting the same investment proposal to investors all year. 2 days before I'm supposed to meet with her, I felt God tell me, throw all of that away. You about to make something completely new. You're about to put your whole focus on marketing. You're trying to get money for this, and this. No, you need to get money for marketing. And then God just started sending me all these ideas for content. And then I'm doing the content, and now my stuff is doing numbers, and I'm getting all these followers. And it's just like, I feel like, honestly, right now, I feel so tapped into God. Like, I feel like I am hearing, like, everything that he is telling me. And it just shows me, like, God really, like, creates a path for us. Like, he literally has made a path for us to show us to get to, like, that promised land or get to the things that he wants for us. It's just, like, a matter of us listening. Like it's just crazy. Like, even now, I feel like what God is showing me is, he said, it's like, I can't be lazy, right? Even though, like, the investor that I'm going to work with now, like, me and her are still going to partner together, the most random stuff happened to, like, all the people that I would, like, work with for, like, funding and stuff like that. it's like everybody just has something go wrong with them financially, to where it's like, oh my gosh, like I really want to help you still, but like out of nowhere, it's the most random stuff just happened to where I couldn't even get help for the launch if I wanted to, because everyone that I would go to that was
not a part of his plan.
Exactly, and it just made me realize, I was just like, wow, like God showed me like you are not about to like just jump past like the actual things of being an entrepreneur. You have a whole new set of challenges on your plate. You're not just about to be given $20,000 just to solve it all, and you don't have to actually figure it out. Like, you're about to go through this whole process, and when you're ready, then you're gonna get that investment money. But it's just like right now I'm seeing a path that God is laying out for me, and it's like, yeah, what you were trying to do, that's not it. You gonna get some money later, but that's not what we're doing right now.
And I realized that with if you win every victory, if you win every little thing, every little challenge that you have or come across, and you don't have no challenges, if you don't go through no hardship, you're not going to learn anything from that lesson. You're not going to learn anything for when times do go bad. Like you said, losing clients and going through depression and all of this stuff, it's building you, it's molding you to think even better. And that's why even when, like, I realized going back home taught me, like, okay, it reminded me of, like, reassured me of I'm loved and different things like that. I'm on the right track when I'm talking to my little brother and when I'm talking to my family and they're saying, like, I'm so proud of you. Like, stuff like that is like, okay, I'm on the right track, and stop focusing on instant gratification. Stop focusing on what everybody else's image is of you. What is your image in the eyes of the people that you love, in the eyes of God and his, like, being in his kingdom and different things like that. Like, pay attention to that and not focused on what everything else is, because you're going to distract yourself. You're going to lose yourself. You're going to play yourself out of your position if you don't focus on what's the key things. What is your morals? What is the things that hold you up? What is the things that fulfill you and not tear you apart? That's what came to mind. Yeah.
That's real. I relate to that. And also, another example is coming to my mind in my own personal life this year is that, like, as soon as I dropped, I lost 2 of my biggest clients. As soon as I dropped. And just think, like, I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Like, I got life, bills, and a clothing brand. I have a client, and, you know, I can get paid for my clothing brand, but I'm like, I got comfortable living with the 3 clients I had. And so I'm like, dang, I just did this drop. I'm like, okay, either the enemy's trying to test me or God's trying to teach me a lesson, probably both. All this stuff is going through my mind, and I started feeling confused because I'm like, well, how am I going to keep the drop going, and how am I going to afford this, and how am I going to do this, and photo shoot, and all this stuff. And I remember God just saying, you are not trusting me. Like, you're not trusting me. I placed this obstacle here for a reason, to teach you a lesson. And now that I look back, I'm thankful, because that obstacle taught me to have more faith in what God is calling me to do. Because once I was able to put all my attention on my clothing brand, things start taking off. I'm noticing things that I need to change, and I need to do this instead, and I'm getting more sales, and my Discord chat's growing, and all this stuff. And so it's just like, God put that there to teach me, like, what God has called me to do, like, that's good enough. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we get comfortable on how things is going. And when God throws... Sorry.
That you were going in and got distracted.
When we get comfortable living in a certain way and an obstacle gets thrown, sometimes we can get upset with God, because I was upset with God. I'm like, why would you let this happen? And I'm trying to work this out for you and stuff like that. But that's where faith comes in. You're not going to understand everything that happens to you, because then there would be no faith if you don't understand.
For sure. I feel like, I'm happy for where all of us are.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Like, I really am happy, especially, like, just knowing, like, the places that we were in, or, like, how we were in low places. Like, even, bro, I didn't tell y'all this when I was going through it. Even, like, before we went on the break, a couple weeks before the break, and we were like, not going out, but I know we went out to eat, and then it was something else. We was together. And even during that time, I was starting to feel like depressed again.
That's how I was feeling.
Yes, and it's like I'm literally thinking the only thing keeping me from like just busting out crying right now is the fact that like I have y'all with me right now. But even I remember we went to IHOP. Bro, I remember as soon as I got in the car, I just cried the whole way home just because I was just like, God, like this is literally so hard. There's so much on my freaking plate. But it's like, it just feels good to be on the other side of that now.
No,
like, all
real.
I can do is just be like, wow, like, I am so grateful. Yeah. You know, like, stuff seems hard in the moment. And it would be, like, tough.
It'd be tough.
But we literally, for real.
You be in a ring fighting for your life.
Like, crying, screaming,
You wake
throwing
up like, yo, what's going to happen today? Because
Like,
I'm done. I don't got no more energy.
No more.
You be like, I don't got
Energy depleted.
If one more thing happened, this is my 13th reason.
Lord, I am not one of your toughest soldiers. Let's get that clear.
You gave these battles to the wrong person.
Like, I cannot fight anymore. I'm done. I do not get down.
Literally,
Bruh.
That is how
okay,
it felt.
this is what it reminded me of, because I do remember when we were sitting in a white room. I remember when y'all were talking about getting a job. And that's when things were like, for my business as well, started drying out. I'm like, hold on, what's happening? Things started drying out. And then y'all talking about a job. I'm like, do I need to get a job? I'm like, do I need to start working a 9 to 5? Should I apply for Target or something? And it's like, I don't have no problem working a job. Like, I'm not better
But it's
than
just like
anybody.
you're used to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're used to it. And so what you said of like when clients start cutting and different things, or when you were like having trouble with
I was
getting
losing
payment.
clients and stuff
Exactly.
too,
And it
like-
was like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do?
Yes.
Bro, when I tell y'all screaming, crying, throwing up.
Bruh, no, for real. And what you said,
screaming, crying.
I wasn't screaming and crying, and I was crying, but I wasn't screaming.
Literally, it was like when I was in the car crying. I'm not gonna cuss at God, but I just was like, God, F
got
this.
me.
I didn't cuss. I was just like, God, F this. I literally like yelled that at the top of my
I was
lungs.
like, I'm about to pack my
I
bags
am
and move back home.
I was like, I'm so tired of life. And it's just like, now that like, it's like, okay, I got through it. It's like, okay, it wasn't that bad.
It's like, all right, I got this is the
God, I
assignment.
apologize, but that one time I cried.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. What you said about just like being around y'all, like that one night when we went to Atlantic Station, I was like, I'm on my 13th reason. They want me to go outside and run the streets.
Do you remember that time we went out for me to go sell shirts?
Oh yeah, see,
When I
we were
tell
all
you-
going through it, bro.
Bruh, that was, I don't know. You weren't there,
there.
but I don't know. What was that?
It was the Atlantic Station, and they were like, "You can't sell shirts." But you know how I
When
know
I
you were
t-
going through it, because I was doing the thumbnail, and you were just sitting there quiet on your phone.
When I tell you, if Trey wasn't there, I would have cried. I am so, because I'm like, I had just lost my clients. I'm like, okay, Faith, you know, I can go sell some shirts. I'm selling shirts. Security gonna come up to me talking about something. I can't do that. And on top of that, the lady I tried to sell to, she talking about something. I'm like, I can't do this.
And then on top of that, during that time, that was the week we were doing public interviews and stuff.
Bruh.
And the public interviews for me were not working. I was like, I'm done with content. I'm done with graphic design. Throw all this
Doing
away.
everything.
I'm about to just go and work at Uber and drive cars around or something. Wash cars.
real.
Get back to my roots.
No, bro, honestly, like,
I was done. And then
I was thinking about starting back Uber too at one point, because I was just like, well, Instacart, but bro, and it was crazy. This is how I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing it. I tried it one day. I was out for like 5 hours. It made like $20.
I said, what are you doing? Get in the house. You were driving around for no
Okay,
reason.
yeah, exactly. I was like, you're putting your efforts in the wrong place.
He's like, you need to be working on the pins. That's what you need to be doing.
For real, the content you want about Instacart, and you need to be posting on Instagram. But you know what's crazy though? I tried to get on Instacart too. They never verified my account.
Dang.
I'm like, Lord. And then on top of that, like, I tried to DoorDash.
Yeah.
My DoorDash account not even updated. It's still in
Dang.
Maryland. So I'm like,
Dang.
okay, God want me to do
I'm
something
not gonna
else.
lie. I started thinking about like lowering my prices and stuff. I was like, it's something to lower them prices. I was like, y'all
Do a
what?
sale.
For real. And honestly, if the time comes to it, there's nothing wrong with DoorDash and Instacart.
Yes,
Exactly. We're not
exactly.
saying
We're not
that as a
laughing
bad
at it.
thing.
Yeah, no. And if I need some extra money and I'm gonna do it, or the opportunity is there, then well, I gotta figure out how to work the account.
saying,
but I would do it. Yeah.
Nah, for sure. I would. I haven't. Okay, so for me, I haven't worked a job, so I don't know what that experience was. And I shared that with y'all when you had spoke to me about like working horizontally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like working that way. That's what
Vertically? Wait.
Which way is it?
Horizontal.
Okay. Thank you. I'm like, do I need to go back to school? But so yeah, when you had mentioned that, that's when I started realizing, okay, make your mistakes and not make just random mistakes just for the fun of it, but little stuff. Work on it with the smaller clients first, the clients that are still building their brand. Communicate with them. When you taught me that, that's what I started doing, and now I'm like, it feels like it's my business starting over again because I feel as though I'm working with the clients that I'm inspired by, different things like that. But I also am building great relationships with just clients who are still building their channels, still building their brand, different things like that. And I'm like, yo, this is good.
That's good.
For real, honestly, I feel like that's something that I'm like also thinking about too. Like, I have like 6 orders so far, but I honestly feel like I know I'm gonna have like. I feel it so deep in my spirit. I'm going to have like an influx of orders like come in. But I feel like I'm honestly, since I'm new to this whole like ready to wear thing, I feel like I'm supposed to like steward over the 6 and figure out like, okay, what are the things I need to have in place? Like today I even realized like, oh, maybe I should get like tags and things for my clothes. Like I didn't even realize I didn't have like my return policy and stuff set up. Like I'm figuring out the little things with this 6. And I feel like honestly, once I get that together, get those testimonials from them, I feel like then that whole influx of people is going to come. So it's like, take care of the little bit that you have right now. And then once you take care of that little bit, that opens up the floodgates for even more to come your way.
That's good.
Sure.
But for you to not you, but for us to realize that is because I feel like sometimes we have our mind say, oh, I need more orders. I want more orders. I want more clients. But you can't learn the lesson you need to learn now because you're too busy wanting more. Whole time, you need to focus on what you have and figure how you can make what you have better.
Exactly.
Then once you make what you have better, then the more will come.
Nah, for sure.
And that's what I realized in my brand. I'm like, okay, I want more orders, but I have a community brand and I haven't even learned the skill of consistently staying on a call every week or managing the Discord chat. And I know once I have more orders, that means more people going to join the Discord chat. So then it's going to be off balance. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's true. You have to master what you have now and the more will come.
And the thing
all
is,
learning the same lessons.
yeah, I'm saying.
Depression, anxiety, screaming, crying. What else we been through?
I felt okay. So I want to say something to what you were saying about just us all going through different things. I felt as though the thing that brought us all together was that test for the Friendsgiving, because it was like we always going through our individual things, and then we had to go through this one thing together. And so it was like, are y'all gonna stand the test of times to go through this? And it turns out the Friendsgiving went well, bruh.
Yeah,
that junk went really well. People were impacted. People loved it. We saw MJ. I'm so glad MJ came. I'm not gonna lie.
Literally.
Yeah, and so on top of that, with what you were saying about just you want more, and you can focus. You should have goals and visions of what you want, but also plant the seed first for when that time comes. Focus on the now. And make sure you're building the stuff on the back end for now. And that way, when things grow, you can have things to flourish in that time. And it's almost seamless. It's not going to be perfect, but it will be a way better system. And so that's what I learned in my business, is to take a step back. The clients that I lost, some of them actually started, my bad, I just bit my tongue. Some of them actually started coming back this month. And so
that's good.
Yeah.
It's been way better. I learned that I do want to create an agency and different things like that. I want to be like Tyler Perry Studios, Tiana Taylor. But the one thing I realized about them is they have a team and they have systems in place. Even when we were at Monique's house, and I can say that because we're dropping a vlog. Well, I'm dropping a vlog on my channel. But with what Mike was saying when we were at the dinner table, he was like, you can't do it all. Like, you can't do a flyer, a video edit, a thumbnail, all of that stuff. You're driving yourself insane. You need to focus on, and that's the thing, is focusing on one thing. It's already so many things that I'm focusing on, and I'm speaking for myself personally, the graphics, and then we got the podcast. That's already like 2 things. Then I'm trying to build out my own brand. So it's like, that's 3 things in itself. And you can't have 5 million things in graphics and expect to still be consistent and successful in your personal brand and, you know, YouTube and the podcast.
That's literally why I had to cut off like Ellis Sewing Co. Because my focus was split. And I still had the group for the weekly calls. I cut off like promoting the courses and everything and using that Instagram. But I still had my group that I was supposed to meet with weekly, and I had fell off with them so bad. They're like trying to get follow-ups, like when's the next class and stuff like that. And I finally just ended everybody's subscription, and I was just like, y'all, I was like, we can't do this anymore. I was like, I really need to focus on my brand. I was like, we could have this space, we could have this community for me to just like talk to y'all here and there and like still give y'all advice and feedback. But as far as us doing weekly classes, I can't do that no more because I need to focus on growing my own brand. Yeah. And so it's just like, I realized that me focusing on one thing was the best thing I could have ever did for my brand, because now I am seeing so much growth because I am not splitting my focus everywhere. It's like you can only grow so many things, or you can only do so much, see so much growth in your life if you are trying to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different things.
For sure. And that's what I learned. Like, I was trying to do YouTube intros, thumbnails, a video edit. And 1 minute I'm doing a flyer. Next minute I'm creating a shirt design, a t-shirt design. Next minute I'm creating a logo. And I was like, let me just cut back on some stuff. Cut back on the intros. Yeah. People don't really use intros like that for YouTube anymore, to be honest. So it's like, the main things that I'm focused on right now is providing thumbnails and getting good at storytelling, so that way I can be better in the editing space for videos and stuff like that. Yeah. So those are like the 2 things I'm working on. Yeah. Flyers, that's like something that's like, it's not consistent every single hour of the day. Yeah. So it's like, those are, I would say the 2 things is video editing and thumbnails. Flyers, that's like every now and then when my clients do need it. So those are like the top 3 things that I'm focused on. The intros, I haven't been focused on, and different things like that. Eventually it'll come back around as I start to build that team out, but that's where I'm at right now.
That's real. And also for my brand, like, I relate with the one thing type of thing. Because when I first had my brand, when I first started, I would drop and then sell out and then move on to something else. And then drop, sell out, move on to something else. And then as I'm doing this, people are like, where's the hoodie you had when you first started? And I don't even have that in inventory no more.
Even the shirt you got on.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so then I realized I was in World Envision's mentorship, and they were just talking about how you need to have one design, blow off one design. If there is a room full of people and everybody has on a different hoodie, people could just gonna think it's different brands. But if everybody in the room has on one shirt, different colors, cool, one shirt, like they gonna say, where is that brand? You know what I'm saying? And then I realized, dang it, I'm not doing this right. Like, I keep selling out and moving on, and people are wondering where the other inventory is. So I said, okay, I'm gonna drop this one design that I love, and I'm going to stay on this product for a year. Or in even World Envision, they be saying, don't move on to other products until you sell 5,000 in products. No, that's good. Do not move on. You want to blow that up, get that all over the world so people can know you. Yeah.
And you've been doing that for real. Yeah. Like, now I remember, when I think of Wisely Ball, I remember Walk Wisely with God with the words on the back. Yeah. Rather than like, Walk Wisely with God, oh, it's on the front now, or it's on the side, or different things like that. It's like very consistent now. You with your pants as well, like, Jayda, you really are about to blow them pants up. And like me with graphics, I just been focused on like, all right, just promote these thumbnails and these video edits. That's it.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is good though. I think this episode is going to be really helpful. I feel like even though it's like a life update, I feel like we dropped some gems for sure. Even I was at church Sunday and this girl was like, she told me that y'all episodes came at like the perfect time. She was like, she had literally just felt like, oh, she failed at something so bad. And she said, then I get a notification on my phone about like the failure episode.
Oh, she commented that. Yeah. I was going to bring that up. Yeah, I seen that comment.
Oh, I did not see that comment.
Yeah, she had went and commented on the YouTube channel. She was like, she was just saying how, what you said, like she failed her exam. And then when she failed her exam, then she had got the notification about the
I didn't
what
know
is it,
commented.
the episode that we dropped? It's something about failure. Yeah.
When Yanni was calling people losers.
Wait, no. That was most recent. Else. That was like a while back.
That was something else.
She's like, you're trying to call me out for no reason.
Exactly. Not even accurate.
But nah, it was from the summertime when I had braids and stuff. But if you just
Yeah.
type in like Growing Painz failure or something about that,
Just search a failure.
search
Growing
up Growing
Painz.
Painz failure. It's on the Social Proof channel. That's one of the old episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's one lesson, because we talked about a few lessons that we learned, what's one lesson that you can take away from this last month and these 2 weeks that we had off?
Ooh, so many.
It is a lot.
Choose one.
Choose wisely.
Choose wisely with God and then walk with Him.
I could go for mine.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
go.
yeah.
Okay, so for mine has been to fail forward. Like I said, I feel as though that's been a clear, direct way to communicate the battles in my mind, the challenges in my mind, the self-doubt, the worry, the negative stuff. That is really what I've learned, is to fail forward, because all of the times that I was worrying through those times when y'all were inviting me out, I was like, I do not want to go. I got too much on my plate. I was like, I'm at full capacity right now. And, you know, those times were needed. And so I learned to just fail forward. Like I said, God is going to bring you through the good, bad, and indifferent. It's not going to change. His character not going to change. His promise not going to change. He's going to commit to what he promised to you. And you will be able to stand the test of time, and he will be there right when you make it to the very end. You feel me? He's going to bring you all the way through, from every emotion, every little thing that you go through. He's going to bring you all the way through, and you have to give him the glory for real. Like, you got to thank him. You got to be appreciative. Once you get what you prayed for, once you get through that season of, oh, I can't see it through. I got to get through this, God. Like, why are you bringing me here? Once you get through that hard season, you need to continue to thank him. And I learned that because I learned it with my YouTube, when I was praying every single night. Oh, I want my YouTube to blow up. I want to be an entrepreneur and stuff like that. It worked. But then I went through a whole 3 years of depression up until now. So basically a fourth year. You feel me? And so that is what I learned, to fail forward and stay committed to the goal.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's good.
I feel like my lesson is God is going to work everything out, because like I told you, I lost the 2 clients after I had just dropped, and I had all these thoughts going on in my mind. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I realized that God, if it's God's plan, he's going to make it work out. Like I touched on it throughout the episode, but whatever you're going through, you may have just did something. You may have just obeyed God, and everything starts like happening. I know when I first got saved, I was going through spiritual warfare all year, but there's good on the other side. The Bible says, is it Romans 8:28? All things work together. Yeah, all things work. Romans 8:28 says all things work together for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. So know that when you obey God, you may see that things are not happening in your favor right now, but know that God is going to collect everything, take data from everything, combine it, and mix it to be something beautiful that's going to work out just for you.
Let's get it.
That's good. I would say for me, my biggest lesson is trust the God in you. I feel like sometimes we think we need so much just to start, so much just to bring an idea to life. But I feel like as you just start on that path, whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing right now, I feel like as you start on that path, that things will come together if you trust the God in you. Like, I honestly felt like I needed so many people just to have this launch happen and be successful. And everything I thought I needed, I didn't even need it all.
For sure.
Like, literally did not need it at all. And so it's just like, right now, I feel like I'm on like this creative high almost. I just feel like, like all these ideas just keep coming to me. And I feel like I am trusting, like, I'm trusting that instinct. I'm trusting like what God is telling me. Like, if he is saying like, all right, move this direction, or this is what you need to do, I am trusting that. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody else is telling me at this point. I'm trusting what I feel is right. And so I feel like trust that feeling. Somebody told me that you will see so much more growth like in your life when you start to trust that feeling. Like, God is honestly speaking to us. He's giving us ideas. So when you tap into that and trust that feeling, everything goes.
I'm so proud of y'all, man.
Yeah, I'm proud of y'all.
Period.
God is really
Let's
doing
get
the
it.
work.
Yes.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Make It Make Sense. We are on the last segment of the episode, and we help young adults grow through life through the advice that we give. Let's get it.
All right.
We're going to keep it that way.
So the question we got for today is, how do you deal with feeling like people are passing you up?
In what way?
As a young adult, like feeling like everybody else is getting successful and making money, their business is growing, but you feel like every stuff is not happening for you.
Yeah. So I used to deal with that. Well, I used to deal with it from a place of jealousy. I used to get jealous really easily because I felt like, well, why isn't this happening for me? Why isn't that happening for me? But one thing that helped me to stop being jealous was God told me anytime that jealousy enters my heart to pray for that person until the feeling of jealousy goes away, because jealousy and love cannot coexist at the same time. And so that helped me with that portion, but also really just understanding that everything happens on its own time. Like everything happens, everybody's journey is completely different. Everybody's journey looks completely different. So it's just like understanding that you are on your own path and they are too. But most of the time, I feel like a big reason that we start feeling like, dang, this person's doing this person is doing that, it's probably because, and this is not for everybody, but it's probably because you know that you are not doing all that you were supposed to do. So, but now you're looking at other people who are doing what they're supposed to do, which is why they have those fruits, which is why they are getting the results that they have. And I think that was my experience as well. I used to feel like, oh, well, this person's brand is doing so good. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I'm not doing all the stuff that person is doing. So I can't even look at somebody else's journey until I have done all the things that I could possibly do. So I would say have some self-awareness. Focus on yourself, like focus on your own path and see, like, what am I doing right now? Am I doing all the things that they're doing? Am I doing more than what they're doing? Like, am I putting in the effort and the work? And to just, if you are feeling any jealousy towards people, I would say pray for those people. Anytime it is somebody who you are upset about the blessings that they're getting or the good things that are happening for them, pray for them. Literally wish them so much success. Pray that they have more success than you. More, like, literally. Keep doing it, and then eventually you'll start to feel some genuine love in your heart, and it won't be like anger or anything like that. So
that's real.
I'll say that the question was how to, you know, if people are passing up on you. Mm-hmm. If you feel that way, and you start to have envy or jealousy or worry about what direction, what path is for your life, I look at it as to focus on yourself. And the reason why I say focus on yourself is because if you start to envy a person based on the blessings that they're receiving, it's only because you know that you could do it too. So you have to focus on yourself and build yourself up so that way you're able to continue to thrive in the areas that you need to thrive on. When you're in a car, you can't focus on the lane next to you. You have to focus on the lane in front of you, because that's the lane that you're driving in. You can't drive in the next lane and in the lane that you're in. So you have to focus on your path, your journey, your success. And that way it'll build over time. Compound interest builds over time. The more effort that you put, the more things continue to grow. If you are starting a business and you don't know where you're at, or if you have a plan and it's not working out, you may need to put in a little extra work. You may have to pray. You may have to be faithful and committed to the journey and understand that you're going to go through the hardships. We literally just talked about that in this episode, is going through the full journey. You can't take the cheat code route. The only cheat code is consistency, and you have to continue to thrive in that and continue to live in it, because it's only going to get you on the right track. As you continue to, you have to earn your respect. That's what I'll end it off with. Earn your respect. The more work that you put in, the more respect is earned. If you feel as everybody is passing up on you, nobody's paying attention, make them pay attention. Continue to build that work. Continue to build that work ethic, that strength, and continue to build with people. The people that you're looking at, get in the rooms with them. Learn what you can learn from them. But don't envy them, because it's something that they could teach you that you don't know. So that's what I'll say.
That's real. I really like both of y'all answers. I think y'all answered it perfectly. And I guess just to sum it up, like, literally what you were saying, everybody is on their own journeys. Everybody's in their own lanes. Everybody has their own stories written. Everybody's different people. And the reason why you don't have what you want, or the reason why you don't have what you're comparing yourself to, is because you're not the type of person they are. Your mindset will be what you do will be a reflection of where your mindset is at. And so just look at that as a reflection back to you, that you need to work more on yourself, and you need to figure out how you can do what you do better and improve it.
Mm-hmm. I want to add one more thing. So I was talking to my friend's mom, and she honestly, this was like maybe a day or two ago, she changed my perspective so much. So I was talking to her about, I don't know how we got to the topic, but I brought up the roundtable episode, and I was telling her how one of the things we talked about was how I said, sometimes I could see people who are like entrepreneurs like Keon, and it's like he could just start a business, make it successful, make all this money from it, and he's not really passionate about the specific thing that he's doing. He just loves to make money. And I was like telling her how sometimes like I would feel like that. Like I wish that I could be that person that is not necessarily so tied to my business and it's like my baby or something. And that I could just go out and do like create businesses and just generate a lot of income from them. And she was like, well, she was like, that's his passion. Like his passion is making money. It has nothing to do with what he's actually doing, but his passion is making money. She was like, so he was given the gifts of knowing how to make money. So he's operating in his purpose. Every time he goes and he creates a business and it succeeds and he's able to leave it and make another one and it succeeds, that's him operating in his gifts. She said, your gifts is being a fashion designer, not necessarily being an entrepreneur. And she said, even though you know how to be an entrepreneur, she said your natural gifts is in fashion design. And so that's why you're good at being able to have a fashion design business. But if you were to say, well, I see a lot of people are becoming realtors, let me go do that, you're probably not going to make a lot of money off of that. Or if you see all these people trying all these different businesses and you try and do it as well, that's not your gift. That's not your gifting. So you have to stick with what you were blessed to do. Stick with the gift that you were given. And allow that, just follow that journey, follow that path. Even in that episode, Keon brought up, like, he said, well, how do most fashion brands start? Like the Gucci's and all of that. And I think I told him, he said, well, are you doing those things? And I said, yeah. So he's like, basically, you're on the right path then. So that just may mean for what I'm doing, the path it may be a little longer. It looks completely different from what he's doing. And so that just goes back to tying it all together of like everybody's gift is different. And everybody's path is different.
That's real.
Sure. Yeah.
But this was a good episode.
Yeah, for sure. Let them know where they can find Growing Painz.
Yes. Growing Painz Pod on Instagram. Don't forget the Z. And Growing Painz Podcast on TikTok. And also make sure y'all are streaming on Spotify, Apple Pod, and because we be dropping some exclusive content over there. We got Go Get Her Mondays. Yeah. So y'all definitely want to go get some more gems over there. And yeah, y'all can follow me, Yanni Bradshaw, my clothing brand Wise Label.
Nah, for sure. You can follow me at Tre'Vion, and my creative agency is Royalty Made It. Let's get it.
And y'all can follow me. My personal is at I am Jayda Ellis, and my brand Instagram is at Jael Official.
Yeah, go get them pants, please.
Please go get them pants.
Go get them pants
right now, and then go get you a graphic.
Go get you a graphic, some editing, some Christian streetwear clothes, so you can rock out. Yeah, you feel me? So you could be on the street with walking wise with God. You feel me? On the back.
On the back. Yeah.
On the back.
Period.
Front to back.
And also make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know if we said that, but we're going to catch y'all in the next episode.
Nah, for sure. Let's get it. We out.
Bye, y'all.